This is the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and this is the Galaxy S10 Lite. Yes, it's hard to tell their visual differences if you aren't looking closely. The S10 Lite is far from being a light device because what Samsung has packed under the hood makes it a very respectable budget flagship. This is the company's answer to Chinese companies that produces budget flagships. I've got early access to the Galaxy S10 Lite before the Malaysian launch and I've been using it for about 2 weeks. And here's what I think about it. Before I get on with this review, please help us by subscribing if you are watching our videos for the very first time. On first impressions, the Galaxy S10 Lite looks a lot like a Galaxy Note 10 considering it has an Infinity O display. Once you get hold of it, you might like the fact that there's no curved edges like you get on the S10 Plus, which gives a more assuring grip and is less fragile if you are worried of dropping it. Despite having a 1080p resolution, the 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display doesn't disappoint when it comes to content consumption as it has decent outdoor brightness and colors. There is an in-screen fingerprint reader that unfortunately doesn't work consistently, just like the rest of the competition. The S10 Lite's build quality is excellent. In fact, if you do notice hard enough, you might have thought that the plastic back cover is the same ceramic material from the S10 Plus. The phone's construction is still held by a solid aluminum frame coated in a shiny chrome finish. With that said, the S10 Lite still isn't a lightweight device due to its display and 4500 mAh battery. That's when you're going to decide if you want to handle 186 grams of heft in your pockets. As a budget flagship, Samsung has reasonably omitted several hardware features, such as wireless charging and IP68 water resistance, which significantly brings down manufacturing costs. However, features such as stereo speakers and the headphone jack should have been present, although it could have been done to make way for a larger battery and a camera OIS module. The mono loudspeaker thankfully sounds decent and you probably already have a pair of decent Bluetooth earphones to live without the headphone jack. Specs wise, the S10 Lite sports a Snapdragon 855 SoC for all market regions, and my review unit comes with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of expandable storage. Though it's not quite as crazy as other flagships, it will suffice for the next couple of years. Performance is snappy and at times it feels much reliable than the Exynos chip on my Note 10 Plus. Especially when it comes to gaming, the Snapdragon 855 chip performs much better with no performance throttle and it only gets a little warm after a 40-minute PUBG mobile session. But what makes it really stand out is power consumption, as I managed to get 1.5 days of usage with a 4-hour screen on time and 2 days if I had a less busy day. This is something that I cannot achieve when I was reviewing the Exynos variant of the S10 Plus and Note 10 Plus. Furthermore, the S10 Lite supports the Note 10 Plus's 45W fast charging. That's a great bonus that I think most people are really going to be excited. The S10 Lite may have a different triple camera system from the S10, but they are decent. You get an optical stabilized 48MP f2 lens, a 12MP ultra-wide angle lens, and a 5MP macro lens. By default, the S10 Lite shoots at 12MP and you can shoot in 48MP by enabling the 4:3H aspect ratio in the camera app. During the review period, I wanted to find out how much I was missing from Samsung's flagship phone camera. So I took my Note 10 Plus and the S10 Lite out for a spin and got very interesting results. As a matter of fact, I prefer photos taken with the S10 Lite as it does a better job at colors where it doesn't oversaturate. The Note 10 Plus's main camera on the other hand manages details and dynamic range better. While it also does a better job in low light, the S10 Lite isn't too far off and I can definitely accept that. Where the S10 Lite's camera system really shines is the macro lens. While it's kind of niche for the general users which some might not find useful, it is able to take a decent close-up object shot when you need to, and it is probably the best macro lens on a smartphone I've come across. In terms of videography, the S10 Lite's Super Steady OIS does an excellent job of stabilizing videos at 1080p. You can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second, but the OIS feature doesn't work at that resolution. The S10 Lite's 32MP front camera doesn't disappoint as well, even though it can't quite match the Note 10 Plus's selfie shooter when it comes to colors and dynamic range. Overall, the Galaxy S10 Lite is a great device to own. At the completion of this review, I have not received any pricing information of the phone yet, but I assume that Samsung would be pricing this below 2,500 ringgit because at this point of shooting, we do understand that the Galaxy Note 10 Lite is going to be priced at 2,299 ringgit. So
I believe that this will be priced around the same because this is a budget flagship by all means. Alright, so that's pretty much about the review of the Galaxy S10 Lite. Let me know about your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to us, follow us on the usual social media places, and I will see you in the next one.